Okay. The what? Yes. Okay. Come on, Alicia. Way after the word. Yeah, I've been to Mexico. Sounds familiar. We can talk about it. It looks good. Yeah, it's readable. Okay. Muy buenos días, gracias por estarnos acompañando aquí en KUHS Denver Radio y Televisión. Estamos aquí en Canciones de Domingo una vez más. Espero que estén teniendo un muy bonito domingo y tenemos aquí un invitado especial. Bueno, todos mis invitados son especiales, así que por eso digo especial. Ahorita lo voy a presentar. Thank you so much for being with us here in Canciones de Domingo, KUHS, Denver Radio and TV Station. We are having a special guest, and like I said, all my guests are special. That's why I always say they're special. They're like, another special guest? Yes, of course. They're only special guests here in Canciones de Domingo. So I'm gonna introduce to you guys a person that has a very interesting life and values that he wrote a book about that he's gonna share with us a little bit because I think that's gonna be very helpful to a lot of people that are listening to the show. And so here is Paul Lane. Good morning. Good, good. How are you? Good. Well, thank you for accepting our invitation and for being here. Actually, he got here very early, which is really, really good. And brought this little puppy with him. That is so cute. But we're going to talk about your book, the book that you wrote, and also some of your experiences as well, not just, because that's how you wrote the book, just your experiences. And also you have learned probably more stuff after you wrote the book and stuff that you want to share with us. So, tenemos aquí en el estudio a Paul Lane. Él escribió un libro que se llama A través de los ojos del cuidador. Él escribió este libro por las experiencias que él tuvo en su vida y también ha aprendido muchas cosas después que escribió el libro y quiere compartir con nosotros lo que él ha aprendido y los valores que él quiere que nosotros no aprendamos, pero los quiere compartir para ver si alguien necesita la ayuda de él, entonces ya podemos contactarnos o él nos puede decir un poquito de cómo ayudarnos en ciertas cosas. Así que, hey, Paul, so tell us a little bit about what made you or made you write the book?
Well, I was married for 26 years, and in June of 2006, on my daughter's 22nd birthday, my wife had a seizure, and we took her to the hospital and found out that she had cancer, with brain cancer. And within 4 days, we found out that it was terminal, and she had less than 2 years to live. So I began by writing blogs, and at that time it was MySpace.
Oh,
But,
yes, yes.
I had a big following, and pretty soon I'd get letters from people who said, "We read your blog every night at the end of the day, so please keep writing. It really means a lot to us." Well, next thing I knew, I had a whole collection of blogs, and someone suggested that I should write a book that could help people. And so my daughter and I sat and tried to come up with a name, and we came up with the name through Caretaker's Eyes. Although I want to revise it and call it the Caretaker's Handbook. But I really feel like people need to be aware that 1 out of 2 of us will be in long-term care at some time in our life, and so that means that half of us are going to be caregivers.
Yes.
And when you're thrown into that position, Sylvia, it's very difficult. I mean, it's stressful, it's confusing, it's horrible. And I wanted to be able to help people to become prepared, to be able to face those things, and to be able to address them. And although you really can never be prepared for them, you should always know that it can happen to you. It can happen to you, to any one of us.
Yeah, there's a lot of challenges, I know that. And when you become a caretaker, you pretty much your life is put on yourself.
Yes.
You totally stop doing what you used to do or what even you work.
Yes. They say that 1 year in the life of a caregiver is equivalent to 6 years of aging.
Oh,
So you really give up yourself, your life.
stressful.
It's very stressful. We used to talk about the new normal because when someone has brain cancer, there's levels of decline, and so every week would be the new normal. So it was even more stressful.
Yeah. So how seek for any type of advice or counseling when you start taking care of your work?
Well, the one thing I would say was know about insurances. It's really important to understand that just because you have life insurance doesn't mean you have long-term care insurance. You don't have disability insurance. You have hospitalization insurance, catastrophic illness. I mean, there's so many things that we aren't even aware of. And we were very fortunate that we did have a lot of those care type insurance. But even with that, it was still very, very financially difficult for us to survive.
And a lot of paperwork, I imagine, and a lot of research and things like that. And especially, it's like, okay, well, now I have to take care of her and I have to be researching all these things and
Yes.
be on the phone with insurance.
You jump
That's
the hoops.
another, yes, exactly.
Yes.
So how do you start dealing with all this stuff?
Well, honestly, we started off with prayer. I have 2 daughters that were very, very bright, and so they started doing research right away. Honestly, when I first started writing my book, I thought I was going to write a book on how we cured her cancer. I really thought that we were going to find a way to overcome this. And so I was very optimistic all the time. I think the one thing I would tell people is to understand that your identity changes all through the cycles. First I was Paul, my wife has cancer. And then I was Paul, my wife has terminal cancer. And then I was Paul, my wife's caregiver. And then I was Paul, my wife's going to be dead. And then I was Paul, my wife is dead. And there's just no way to describe how you have to reinvent yourself or how to find yourself in all of that cloudiness. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I would tell people that loving your family is so important. When you have someone who is in a situation like that, the last thing you should do is avoid them.
Yeah.
And I found that happening with my friends and family.
Oh, wow. And that's what they said, when you're either at the hospital or dying, that's when who are your friends?
Yes.
And family too. A lot of the times it's family.
Oh, no. And through the years, I've talked to folks who have lost a spouse, and it's not unusual for the spouse to leave. It's not unusual at all. And so what I've discovered is it's not everybody can be around a situation where there's a dying family member or a friend. And so it's not a bad thing. It's just that we are all wired differently.
Exactly. But also we all need the same thing.
Yes.
Different, from a different way, but we all want the support.
We want support. We want love. We want to know that people care.
Exactly.
And don't get me wrong, I had a lot of support, and I had a lot of friends that were there. But when you're in the middle of it, it's hard to see.
Yeah.
It's hard to see that you do have that support, and so you get blinded. And They say that an illness like this will bring out the best and the worst in people, and
Yes.
it's so true.
Yes.
In hospice centers they lock the doors, and there's a reason for that because at the end of our life, there's so many things that come out that have happened that people they want to express their anger or they want to express their sadness or their fear or their disputes, and oh, it's so difficult. The other thing I have found that no matter what you decide as the caregiver, someone's going to dispute it. Someone's not going to agree with it, and so you're like, I can't do the right thing no matter what I do.
But I mean, you were the only one taking care of her, well, and your daughters. So you pretty much were the only one that had the last word.
I had the last word, and there were times when my last word was not the best thing for not everybody was happy.
But at the end, I mean, you were the one dealing with it.
Yes, yes. When it came to making the funeral arrangements, nobody came in and said, "Hey, I'm going to help you do this." And so with every day was all on my shoulders.
And I bet you that, like, somebody was like, oh, I didn't like how everything was at the funeral and, things
yes,
like that. And
yes.
you're like, well, if you would have come and say, you know what, I take over this, that would have
Yes.
been a lot of help just because you already went through so much stress during this time. How long was your wife like this?
22 months and 11 days.
Wow. So, I mean, it was a big,
Oh,
I want to say, you pretty much went downhill with her, I think.
oh yeah. After her first brain surgery, she came home and couldn't remember how to find the voice messages on the phone, and so we had to really change from day one. So the new normal came right after she got home from the hospital. We started seeing her decline. She would put a pan on the stove without anything in it, turn the fire on. She would walk out in the garage barefoot, or I'd walk outside with shoes in the snow, and so everything had to change. And so you have to really be prepared for whatever happens.
So when she got that first surgery, was it something that they said that will help her with the tumor, like they would get it out, or?
Well, they told us that they had gotten the whole tumor out, but shortly thereafter, the doctor came to me and said, "This tumor it's a grade 4 tumor, and it's even if we took out every bit of it, if there's a microscopic piece of it left, it's coming back." So my wife had what was called a glioblastoma multiforme, and it's the most aggressive kind of brain cancer. There's no recovery. There's very, very few survivors. If you live 3.5 years with this cancer, you're a long-term survivor.
Wow.
So we right away got hooked up with a support group, which I highly recommend. If you have a loved one who's ill, get a support group and get involved in it. Because you want to talk to like-minded people who are experiencing these things. And so we did that right away, and it was a big help for us.
Are you still in the support group?
No, I quit the support groups during the illness because we were just so consumed with taking care of them. I didn't want to leave her alone, I wanted to be there for her.
And are you thinking about going back just because, your experience might be helping, somebody else?
That's a good question. I have considered going back and becoming a hospice chaplain. Mm-hmm. When my wife was ill, I used to talk to people in the hospice cafeteria all the time, every day, and I knew every family by name. And I would go and kind of give them comforting words and pray with them and talk to them and just give them a pat on the back. Yes. And so the policy was you had to be out of it for 1 year before. I'm sorry, excuse me.
No, that was good.
You had to be, your spouse had to be, or your loved one had to be passed away for 1 year before you could go back. Well, in the year after she passed, I lost my focus on that.
Okay. But you considering on maybe she wants to go and see what's the noises about. It's just Henry. Go in and find it. Yeah, because I think, because everything that you went through, and especially was, like 22 months, that's a long time. So probably, you can share all of your stuff with these families that they don't know what to do or they don't know what's coming, and they might be lucky, and everything will get cured. But at the same time, they need to be kind of, like you said, you're never ready, you never prepared for this, but at the same time, it's kind of like you can kind of set your mind into it. It's like, okay, if this happens, we can do this, or he told like this will happen, let's kind of get ready for it.
Yes. Yes. When my wife and I were standing at the altar and we were giving the vows, and we said, I will, till death do us part, in sickness and in health. Those words were so important to me, and I knew that no matter how difficult it was going to be, I was going to be there to till her last breath.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so committed to that, and but every day it seemed like it was just going forever, and I felt guilty about things. I felt guilty about, I don't know how to say this. I didn't wish she was dead, but I wish that this torture would be over.
Yeah.
And so I adopted four words: "This too shall pass." And that's the one thing, if I could tell someone who's in the middle of taking care of a loved one, this too shall pass. And self care is so important.
Because sometimes when you let yourself go and to take care of the other person, sometimes you're the one that is gonna get sick.
Yes.
Did that happen to you? Did you get sick when you
No.
were taking care of her?
I was so fortunate, and
Yeah.
I had heard statistics that spouse will die, 6 months after their spouse, and
Yeah.
and so after she died, I would go around telling everyone I was going to die.
You're like, well, I'm just going to say goodbye
Yeah.
because this is what
I
people
really
say
did.
is going to happen.
I said 6 months from now I'll be gone, and I lived like it.
How long has it been?
It's been 11 years this May. May 2nd was 11 years.
So you're a long-term survivor.
I got to tell you, someone came to me and said, you wrote a book. I said, yes. And how many chapters were in it? I said, well, there's so many chapters. And your life is like a book, too. Yes, yes. Okay, this is one chapter. Why are you ending the book now? And it was a light bulb, and I said, yeah, I'm going to live and I'm going to have a good life. And so I'm actually enjoying my life more than ever now.
Well, that's good. I mean, when somebody is sick and is so close to you, you don't want them to be in pain. At the same time, and that's why you said you kind of feel guilty because you don't know what to think.
Yes.
It's either like they get cured like now, or it's better for them to pass.
Yes.
Like you just want the best for them because it touches you more seeing them like that.
I have a section in my book. It's called "She Should Have Been Dead by Friday."
Oh.
And it was actually talking to a friend of mine whose husband had Parkinson's. And she was so mad one day because she was watching her husband go through this. And she says, I wish he would just die. And I felt so guilty hearing that. And I realized that I was feeling the same way. But it was not for any other thing that I just loved my.
Yeah, that you didn't want to think that was just because you wanted her gone.
No.
You wanted her just like to disappear out of your life and you don't have to take care of her. It was more seeing her going through the pain.
Yes. And you suffer with her.
Exactly.
And so it's very, very easy to lose sight of what's going on today.
Exactly, especially you looking at your daughter still going through.
Yes. So I have two daughters. They were both out of the house. We had just become empty nesters when my wife became ill. And they really came through for me. They were there all the time. They were supportive. They were such great anchors. And, a lot of people thought that our family would fall apart after my wife died, and many families do. But we committed, my daughters and me committed, and I'm just so blessed to have my daughters a part of my life today, and I'm just so thankful.
Do you have grandkids now?
Yes, my oldest daughter has a boy and a girl, and my youngest daughter had a daughter 6 months ago yesterday.
Oh, wow, congratulations.
Life is good. Life begins at grandchildren.
Exactly. Now you have somebody who's spoiled and everything.
Oh, yes.
Well, that is so nice. And so what advice do you give to people that are right now, like people that just found out that their family member or somebody that they know just got diagnosed with like terminal cancer?
Well, I have a lot of parts in my book that I talk about things that you can do. One of the things that I always appreciated was when someone would come and take care of my wife, and I could go get a haircut, or I could go get some groceries, or go have a cold beer.
Or just take a shower.
Yes. And
without being like rushing or anything.
Yes. I had a very dear friend, Lisa Betts, and Ramon Bell. Val just passed away just last month. And, they would come and watch my wife for me, and I would just forever be eternally grateful for their help. Her sisters would come and clean the house once in a while and cook us dinner, and they lived out of town, and they would come and help us with that. All of my family that could be there was there, and so that was really helpful. One of the things that really I don't. It was troubling. I don't even know the word. People would bring knickknacks. They would bring candles, and they would bring crosses, and they would bring snow globes, and they would bring And what happened was, before we knew it, the whole hospice room was filled with these knickknacks. And honestly, we were financially strapped.
Yes.
They say green goes good with everything. Honestly, if you have a family member or a loved one, help them out. Give them a $20 bill.
Yeah.
Write them
Gift
a check.
card.
A gift card. Yes.
Yes.
Go get some groceries for them.
Yeah.
Go mow their lawn. You would not believe what a big help that was.
Yes.
I have a section in my book. It's called "I've Learned That Most Men Are Asses." And
You just learned that?
I did learn that during that. And what I found out was, gosh, I was raised in a sexist home without a father.
Oh.
My mom taught me that women cook, that women do dishes, that women do laundry, and men do nothing. And when my wife became ill, I saw that in me, and I realized that that's not who I want to be. And of course, she couldn't do those things anymore. So I cooked the meals, I washed the clothes, I paid the bills, I did the lawn, and I learned that, man, I really lost. I didn't appreciate my wife as much as I could have.
Yes.
In the closing pages of my book, I have a poem that's it's called "I Would Have Gotten More Kisses." And I realized that I had a wonderful life. I had a wonderful life, and I hope that if I get the opportunity again, that I can experience that and get more kisses.
Yeah. Well, sometimes people say it's like it's 50-50, but I think it's 100 and 100.
It's 100 and 100.
50-50 won't cut it.
Yes. No. And yeah, you're short. You're cut short at 50-50.
Yes. Because you don't appreciate what the other person is doing for you, and vice versa.
Absolutely.
It's always like, okay, why don't you cook? And I'll cook now. And it's always something like my husband and I. Like I'm really good at making certain things. Cooking certain things. My kids get to make cooking some other things. So it's like. It's like, oh, now I feel like this, so it's your turn to cook,
Yes.
So it's always, good to kind of have that balance here.
It is. It truly is. And guys, if you have a wife, whether she's sick or not, go vacuum the floor. Go help her with the dishes. It's a big help, and it's really, it's valuable, and it's something that won't be forgotten.
Well, it's always like we have superpowers. Like the wife, we have superpowers. We see things that nobody else sees in the house. You can can you pick that up? It's like, what? The thing that you just uncovered. So you won't step on it. Oh, I didn't see it. Oh, I see it. So it's kind of like you guys never see nothing.
Yes, I saw that. I see that now. And, I do have a different perspective on that now, and I do have a different value system, and I have to say that it's really made a difference in me. I've become a really good cook. I clean my own house, I do my own laundry, I do all of the things that I took for granted before.
And so now you're single now.
I'm single now.
You're single. You're remarried again. Yes. After your wife. How long did it take you to get married?
Well, I got married. I would say 8 years after she passed away. I dated a lot of women after she passed away. I was faithful to my wife throughout my 28 years. And when I started dating, I went crazy.
You're like,
But I finally found a woman that I wanted to marry, and I courted her for 5 months, and she wouldn't date me.
Oh.
But we were really good friends, and I used to tell her about the girls I dated. Anyway, but I fell in love with her, and I asked her to marry me. And unfortunately, the marriage was not successful. And so we were divorced just a few months ago. And thank goodness we had 2 homes, and she was able to get one home, and I was able to get the other. And I'll always love her, and I'll never forget her.
And what happened? I mean, if you loved her so much, I'm thinking it was the same way. Like she loved you a lot to get married.
Yes.
What happened?
Well,
you were cooking all the time.
I was cooking all the time. I was cleaning all the time. No, honestly, there wasn't the full communication that needed to be there. There needed to be more appreciation. There needed to be more unity and less division.
From what side?
Yes. The hardest thing about being married after 50 is that things are ingrained in you. You have your values, you have your habits, you have what you believe is the way of life is. And when 2 people get together and they have completely different pasts, it's very hard to synchronize that, to make it where everybody's happy.
Yeah, well, it should be like, coming to a neutral point where
Yes.
it's like, okay, I don't like the stuff that you do, but you don't like some of the stuff, so let's just kind of like ignore it, and just keep on going or kind of, make a commitment or something.
Yes.
But sometimes, like you say, you can't do that.
You know, I think compromise is the key word.
Yeah.
And being remarried is just all about compromise and flexibility and just being able to hear the other person out. And I don't blame anyone. I take full responsibility for my part of it all. Um, I just realized that I have to do this on my own.
So now that, well, it's been a few months and you got divorced, um, are you even thinking of having another relationship?
Absolutely. I love being in a relationship. I love having a mate. I'm not actively pursuing dating right now, but I know that that's going to happen in my life. But I'm very optimistic about it.
You thinking about marriage?
No,
No.
not a bit. No.
What about if you find the right person, like the person that, okay, everything, the commitment is there, we get along very well, and we've been living together for, a year or so.
I think that's a possibility. I think that could happen.
You're not close to that possibility of doing
I'm not completely closed, but I'm not really open.
Well, of course, right now it's like, only a few months afterwards that, some people say, yeah, I believe in marriage and whatever. But it's always, when the right person comes along and,
Yes.
and like you say, you want to, okay, let's just give it a try first and it works.
Honestly, I'll confess to you right now, if my wife would still see me, I would still see her. I still love her.
So,
Yeah. So, I just said that. But that's the truth.
I mean, you're speaking your heart. Sometimes we don't want them to know just because, like, okay, they're gonna feel like they're all like, okay,
I like you, but you don't like me.
Yeah, exactly. So it is hard, Sometimes it's like the person that you like doesn't like you, and you have somebody else, that is after you.
Yeah.
So especially like, nowadays it's kind of crazy the dating way of doing things. It is like when you're nice to somebody.
Yes.
And they think you're flirting with them.
Yes.
Have you had that happen to you?
Oh yeah, and I've been on both ends of it, receiving and giving. So sometimes it's when you're not used to someone being nice to you, or you see someone who's very attractive and they smile at you, you sometimes pick up the wrong message. And so, in the same way, I do sales for a living, and sometimes I'll go on a presentation and there's a single woman there, and I can tell that they're flattered, and I want to keep it very professional.
Yes.
But you'll see the
that hair, like that little
yes,
look.
the curling of the hair, and so you have to moderate yourself. You have to really tone down and be professional as you can.
Yes. Because, that's one of the things, like, nowadays, that's what I see a lot of memes for. It's like, you cannot be nice to somebody or have manners because they think that you are flirting with them.
Yes.
And that happens to me a lot because I always smile,
I can imagine.
I smile a lot. So they're like, oh, it's like, I just smile. That's all I do. Or when they say hi and I answer hi back, it's like, oh my God, you answer me like, what do you like of me? I'm like, no, I'm just saying hi back,
Yes.
So it is really hard nowadays to have a friendship, with somebody that is the opposite, sex and be nice to somebody.
Yes. I've been very blessed. I have a lot of female friends that are dear friends that are platonic. And I appreciate that very much because it's not something that I've had all my life. I remember when I was younger, I went to a class and there was this very attractive woman and she started talking to me. And I stammered. I didn't know what to say. And now I'm at a point in my life where I'm very comfortable with myself. I'm comfortable with my masculinity and I'm not intimidated by that anymore.
So that's why you were dating after your wife.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like you got the confidence.
Yes. I was faithful to my wife for 28 years, and when after she passed away, I did go and I sowed my wild oats. 11 years ago, it was a completely different scene. The dating sites were much different than they are today, and
that's when they started getting crazy. Actually,
crazy.
11 years.
Yeah. And I'm not on a dating site anymore. I guess if I meet someone that's going to be face to face.
Yeah.
And so I'm not in a hurry and I'm not going to rush it.
Because you even think that when you meet somebody face to face, even then, there's stuff that you cannot see. How can
Yes.
you do it through internet or through dating sites? There's
Yes.
a lot of stuff that is gonna be hidden more than what you thought it would be. So I think that's the best thing, face to face and kind of, go with that for a while. Some people, their true colors come like after 2 years.
Yes.
So that is like, wow.
Mhm.
I know you for so long and now you changed this much. It's like, that's the real you.
Yes.
They were just trying to, be somebody else so that way you can be there for them. And that is not good. So you always tell them like how you are and what you like and your habits and everything, so that way they want to stick around.
Yes.
You can figure out.
So I guess I'm to a point in my life where if I date someone, I'm just gonna be myself. If I fart, just kidding. I mean, you gotta be yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
Forgive me, I didn't mean to be.
No, no, I mean it's real.
No, I
That's
want to be real.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I think that we should be ourselves with everybody, and we shouldn't try to put on a facade because it's not you.
As long as it's business, okay? If it's business and you like to say a lot of bad words and stuff like that, if that people that you're doing business with, they're really professional and really, just want to say serious. Don't do that.
Yes. No.
Yeah, that's when it's different. But anything besides that, I think it's good to be yourself.
Yes. I think that the strongest relationships are relationships that are rooted in truth and honesty, I think being sincere and just being honest with another person is so important.
Yes, yes. And let me show you guys the book. And you're hearing Lola, right?
That's Lola.
Lola barking here. See, there she is. There she is. You missing daddy? Yes. But this is the book, and that's through a taker's eyes. And where they can get your book?
Right now, I'm out of hard copies.
Oh, wow.
I am just getting ready to do an order. My book is available on Kindle right now.
Okay.
If you send me an email to laneman@comcast.net, I will send you a free copy, an electronic copy.
That's awesome.
I will email it to you, and I'm glad to do that. Also, if you're on Facebook and you go to Through a Caretaker's Eyes, I am downloading one chapter every day.
Oh.
And I'm on my second, just put the second chapter yesterday, and I'm starting to get a pretty good following. I do believe that the reason I wrote my book is because I want to help people. And honestly, it was written and completed in 2010, and I lost sight of why I'd written the book. And now it just came back to me that I want this book to be in people's hands because I know it can help them.
Yes, and you know what? Talking about this, today is the services of my brother-in-law's sister. She just passed last week from cancer, and they found out she had cancer not too long ago. So it was, she didn't tell anybody. So we don't know exactly how long she was dealing with it. But my condolences to the whole family, the Henry family, and yeah. So the services are today, so hopefully we can go there today. But I know so many people. I have another friend that she was the caretaker of her grandma, and she was doing it for years and years. And it is so crazy how much people don't appreciate you when you're doing that. She gave up her artist life. She was a dancer and all these things. She gave everything up to take care of her grandma. And the family members are still, kind of fighting with her. Now the grandma passed not too long ago, and now they're fighting her because they never even gave her any money, for her own stuff. I mean, you still have bills when you're
Yes.
taking care of somebody, so they never paid her or anything. So it's a big court thing going on because of that. And she's the only one that was there the whole time. So people don't really appreciate that. So make sure if you have a family member that is taking care of another family member, just kind of be considerate. Like you said, what about paying for their dinner once a week? I mean, I'm pretty sure if everybody gets together, they'll have a dinner at least 3 or 4 times a week, and they don't have to worry about that. Bills like it's like gift cards, $20 bill, just for gas. There's a lot of doctor's appointments.
Yes.
And still you cannot work because you have to take care of this person, and you need money for gas.
And to food.
Yeah, gas and food, and there's so many things that you can do with one of your family members is sick, and it's support also like person, right? And what else would you like to tell them about, if they have somebody that they need to take care of, just for any illness, any terminal illness, or just anything, even like Parkinson,
I would tell you that you need to be very careful, and selective with your caregiver. I mean, with your medical providers. When my wife got sick, we had a doctor that was a brain surgeon, and he was so cool. He would sit us in a room, and he would put his nurse would put us in a room and put all the X-rays up from last week and this week, and we could see the growth of the tumor. And he would leave us in the room for 20 minutes, and we got so stressed out because of that. And I finally said, you know what, we're going to fire this guy, and we fired him. We went to a hospice center, and I was very displeased with them. And they're out of business now, and there's a reason why.
Yes.
And I fired that hospice center, and they caused a lot of trouble and headache for us. But I will tell you this: if you're not satisfied with the care, the medical care your spouse or loved one is getting, look around, shop around, because you're not locked into that person. I will not tolerate someone not giving top-notch care to my spouse or my loved one, and that's important.
Do you consider, well, do you advise them to actually look for referrals instead of like just, little reviews on the internet that they can be fake?
Yes, I would say go online and do research yourself. We found a neuro-oncologist over at the Anschutz Center, and she was wonderful. And we actually went with the doctor, Dr. Lily High, over at the Anschutz Center for her second surgery, and we were so much more pleased. In the end, my wife went to Porter Hospice in South Denver, and we were so satisfied and so blessed with the care that she received. I would also say that you're not alone, and again, get into a support group. I would get involved with the hospice center. I mean, if I saw a nurse moving a bed, I went and helped her move it.
Yeah.
When it snowed, I went and shoveled the snow. I felt like it helped relieve my burden, and it helped me to be more focused. And
it was like your home pretty much.
It was my home.
So
yes.
It was helping and it will make you feel better.
Yes, and it was very satisfying to be able to do that. I would also say that, as the illness progresses and your spouse or loved one gets more and more closer to death, there's preparations that need to be made, and you need to be aware that this is reality. This is going to happen, and tomorrow's coming. And so, when the time comes and you have to do funeral arrangements, get help. Get assistance. Look at your insurances. As I said earlier, look at your work insurances. See if you have long-term care disability. See if you have catastrophic illness. If you have life insurance, find out what those insurances limitations are and what you really are paying for every month. Because in the end, when you need it, you really need it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's not like you're never going to use it.
No, you're going
to when I pass. So
yes.
we need those services, and we need to have the information handy.
Yes.
Because you never know when it's going to happen.
Yes.
I mean, for you, it took 22 months, so you never knew when it was coming.
Never saw it. Never expected it. And here's the other thing. Even when you know that death is coming, and you know that it's going to be in a week or 2 weeks, you are not prepared for it. I mean, nothing is going to prepare you for it. And so you just have to really be as grounded as you can. If you go to church, I would say go to your church, go to your priest, your pastor, your rabbi, your wherever you go. Get grounded in your faith, because I think that was a really big help. There's a lot of verses in scripture in my book, and I've had people tell me, if you would have taken the scripture out of there, you might have had a bestseller. And I didn't. I left it all in there. And I won't, when I revise the book, I'm not going to take anything out of it that's going to be
the same. And so you're going to write another book?
I want to write another book. I want to revise this one. I'm getting ready to do an audio version of the book and release it in an audio. But it's been my dream to write another book. I want to write a motivational book.
Oh, that sounds good. And also, he was talking about the universe when he came into the studio, and this is very interesting. And I heard of the universe before, that we had to concentrate. At least give, I forgot how many minutes it is a day. So that way we can concentrate on what we want and be thankful for what we have.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that.
So recently I came across I'm reading a book. It's called Becoming Supernatural, and in the book they talked about this program called Mind Movies. And so I googled it, and I purchased the program. And as I started listening to it and studying it, it was really based on gratitude. And so every night you go to bed and you write 5 things you're grateful for, and they can never be the same thing twice.
Oh.
And what it does is it aligns you with the universe. And so if you look at the universe, there's frequencies in everything. This desk has a frequency. The book has a frequency. And if you look microscopically, you'll see that it's 99.9999912% empty space. So in reality, this should not be a solid desk because it's almost all empty space. Well, when you look at frequency, all frequency is a tone or a pattern, and if we have a pattern that's not synchronized with the universe, then we're not going to be getting or doing the things that we're satisfied with or fulfilled in. And so what this book does, or this program does, is it helps you to starts out with gratitude, and then it goes into what they call an intention statement. And your intention statement is something you write down that is very powerful and it's emotional, and it states what you want to achieve or accomplish. And then you go into this program where you do these mind movies, and there's a program you have on your computer, and there's pictures, and you can do the drop down, drop and drag into a box, and then you do your affirmations, and then you add your own music, and then you make this movie. It's a 3 to 5 minute or even longer movie that is all made by you, and it's you.
So it's a kind of like before I used to call like the boards and motivation, like where you put like you cut pieces of stuff from magazines that you wanted and you just take them in there. And
it's a vision board.
Vision board.
Yes. And it's cool because there's so many different categories. There's family and life. There's emotional. There's business and career. There's toys. There's automobiles. I mean, so it's really fun once you start doing it. And you can play the movie, and it's all about you. And so you listen to it in the morning, and you listen to it at night, and I listen to it
just to make sure we're doing it right?
Hey, I want all the focus I can get,
Yeah, exactly.
And so what it's done for me is it's taken my sales to a completely different level.
My boss, that's what you do now, right?
Yes, I work for a company called Complete Basement Systems, and on Friday my boss came up to me and he says, "I don't know what's going on with you. I've seen a big change in you. You're a different person in the last 3 weeks." And I was like, "Oh, very cool."
So it's been 3 weeks that you've been doing this.
It's been 5 weeks, but 3 weeks
I've been really to get kind of
get rolling. Get rolling. No, honestly, the first day I went out and did this, I went out and got a great big sale. I from last month to this month, my increase has been 400% in sales.
Wow, congratulations!
I have actually found myself losing weight on purpose. So I've lost actually in the last 5 months I've lost about 19 pounds.
Oh, congratulations! Yes, that's a lot. If you don't know how much is just 1 pound.
Yes. Honestly, I manifested this interview. It's so weird because I had decided to myself, I know why I wrote my book. My book is to help people, and I'm going to get it back and resurrect the book. And then all of a sudden, I got a message from Henry Archuleta, a very dear friend of mine, and he said, "I want you to come on my radio Sunday morning." And here I am.
Wow.
And I just have to say that manifesting is something that we all can do. I think that it's very powerful, it's useful, and I would recommend it to anybody. I don't care what area of your life you want to work on, develop, or grow. Yes, there's something, whether it's physical, whether it's emotional, whether it's spiritual, whether it's a relationship, or with your career. No matter what you want to do, if you desire to do it and if you get the right tools, you can really go where you want to go.
Exactly. And I had to talk to you, our audience, about the VIP Blue Bus. I don't know if you how you relax or how you meditate, but sometimes for me it's music. So we have the VIP Blue Bus that is going to be going to Denver to Trinidad. There it is. And it's for the Jazz Festival. That's on Saturday, August 24th. And that is, you need to reserve your seats, of course. And that is, let me see, departing from Walmart, 7800 Smith Road, Denver, Colorado. And you can get your tickets at onespiritorigin.com/bluesbus. So that's put out for One Spirit Origin. That's a company that is bringing a lot of music to us and always taking care of all of our needs as far as music goes. So there you go. And I have this information too on my webpage on Facebook, and also let me see. Okay, so yeah, so this information is also on my page and also KUHS and Henry Archuleta page. So this interview has been brought to you by One Spirit Origin. So hi to all my friends in there. But yeah, I think music has a lot to do with people when we are in certain type of emotions, when we're like want to release something, we usually go to that type of music. You know, we're happy, we want all that nice beat, you know, to be happy. When we're sad or we want to get something out, or what type of music do you like to listen to?
I like a variety. I like to sing karaoke.
Oh, me too, but I don't know how to sing. I do like to sing.
I like older music. I really like the music of the Temptations and the
Oh
Platters.
yes,
I like the
yes,
Righteous Brothers. But there's so many new songs. A lot of times I'll tune into KUHS and the music they play on there is so good. It's so easy to listen to, and it
yeah, all
just makes the
kinds.
night go by so fast. Oh, I love it.
Thank you.
Yes, I really do. I got to share this with you. When my wife was ill, I had a box of CDs, and I would play music all day long for her. And the day that she passed away, we had a bunch of people in there, my daughters and I were there, and we were playing a certain song, like the Poetry Man by Phoebe Snow, and it was so peaceful and so quiet. And I told my daughters to tell her that they love her and they're going to be okay. And Stacy, my youngest daughter, said, "I love you, Mom. I'm going to be okay." And Amanda said, "Mom, I love you. I'm going to be okay." And I told her, "I love you so much. You've been the best friend I've ever had. I'm going to be okay." And with that, my wife took her last breath. And the music, she escorted her out of this world. And so, yes, music is such an important and a beautiful thing.
Yes. And that's very beautiful what you're saying, because sometimes they don't want to leave us because they worry about us. So when we tell them, you know, when we're there with them, when they're passing, you know, I think that's one of the best things, you know, for them to leave in peace.
Yes, I think that sometimes they don't want to leave this world because they are afraid of your well-being,
Yes.
and more so than their own. And I know that my wife is doing fine. I know that she is. And they always say, "Oh, they're in a better place." She is.
Yeah.
Especially
because how she was here, you know, before
yes.
leaving, so that just another thing that just being cured.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And will you try to speak Spanish a little bit to tell us about your book in Spanish?
Oh. Me gusta el libro.
¿Libro?
El libro. Es más importante por mucho gente. Um, los palabras están más verdad.
Uh-huh.
Es más importante. Y yo quiero ayudar más gente. Yo quiero mi libro en español. Someday.
Pronto.
Pronto, sí, pronto.
Pronto.
Necesito un hombre quien habla en español.
En español. Yo te ayudo.
Sí.
Pero este libro es acerca de cuando él estuvo cuidando a su esposa en su lecho de muerte, por decir, ella tenía cáncer terminal y duró 22 meses así enferma, entonces él tuvo que dejar todo lo que él hacía para cuidar a la esposa y pasar por todas las etapas que el cáncer como aumenta, como iba consumiéndola, era una un nuevo reto para ellos, empezar otra vez a entender las cosas nuevas que venían cada semana o cada día, entender cómo levantaba el cáncer. Él platica aquí de las cosas que primero empezó a escribir el libro pensando que iban a encontrar una solución, que el libro iba a terminar con la solución de que ella por fin se curó. Afortunadamente, pues no pasó eso, ella pasó a mejor vida después de 22 meses. Entonces él estuvo todo este tiempo, él estuvo escribiendo como unos mensajes, en aquel entonces era MySpace, que es ahora como el Facebook más o menos, y le aconsejaron que escribiera mejor el libro porque mucha gente lo encontraba como motivacional para ellos porque estaban también pasando por las mismas cosas, tenían a alguien enfermo, no digamos de cáncer, pero había gente enferma que necesitaban el cuidado de ellos y ellos no sabían muchas veces qué es lo que iba a pasar o cómo hacerlo. Entonces él les escribía, les explicaba lo que él estaba haciendo. Él aconseja a toda la gente que está pasando por algo así, que se pongan en un grupo de soporte, de apoyo, para que empiecen también ustedes a saber, la gente, si esa gente que está ahí ya pasó por lo que ustedes están pasando, les pueden dar consejos, les pueden dar más información acerca de dónde más ir o qué más pueden hacer acerca de la enfermedad de sus seres queridos. Sí, como dice él, la música fue muy bonita para él, le ponía música a la esposa todo el día y cuando ella se fue, tenían una canción muy, muy, ¿cómo se dice? Muy pasiva, muy tranquila y fue como se fue la esposa. Así que uh, este libro lo va a sacar otra vez en copias así, ahorita nada más está en el Kindle, en, right, en Kindle?
Yes.
Okay. Para si quieren bajar la copia, pero también si le mandan un mensaje a él, what is your email address?
Lane Pan, LANEMAN 09 at Comcast.net.
Para que él les manda la copia de su libro y también en la página de Facebook que se llama también To a First Taker's Eyes, está bajando what is it, one episode or what is it called, like one chapter?
Yes, one chapter
One
a day.
chapter a day. So está bajando un chapter por día, así que vayan búsquenlo para que si ustedes necesitan esta información o conocen de alguien que necesite también la información de que esté cuidando a una persona, pues esto les va a ayudar mucho. Y él no termina aquí, él todavía va a escribir otro libro de motivación. Él está ahorita estudiando lo que le llamamos ahora el universo, acerca de las cosas que el universo nos puede dar cuando tenemos los pensamientos positivos. Así que va a estar el segundo libro y quiere también traducir este libro en español. Así que vamos a ver qué más sale con Paul. What else you gonna have for us?
Well, I would like to read you a poem.
Oh, that's nice.
The closing
yes.
of the book.
Yes, yes.
I wrote this poem after I lost my wife, and it's very special to me. And it's called "I'd Have Gotten More Kisses." If I could do it again, I'd have gotten more kisses, more holding hands. I'd do more of the dishes, more intimate dinners and heart-to-heart talks, more mushy love letters. I'd have taken more walks. I'd do much more laughing. I'd do less complaining, more quiet times. I'd go out when it's raining. I'd have pampered her more and looked in her eyes. I'd have cooked her more dinners and baked her more pies. More intimate talks, more walks in the park, more romps in the hay and love after dark. Now the past is behind me. I can't change it at all. I'll do better next time if love ever calls. So don't waste a minute in this life that you live. The day that it ends, you'll have no more to give.
I'm getting teary-eyed.
It took a long time before I could read it without crying.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful that you had me here. I just want you to know that my book is really intended to help people. And at the end of each chapter, I have sections that things I learned and things I would have done different or better. And excuse me. And I think that this book is going to change lives, and I'm intent on getting it into the hands of as many people as I can.
Yes, and we're going to help you.
Yes, and I'm so grateful for your help. So yeah, and Henry Archuleta is just such a great inspiration and
Don't
a great
say that. He's
help.
gonna think that he's real.
Oh, he hears us?
Yes, he hears us.
Darn it.
I'm just kidding. He's a nice person.
No, he's great. Henry's great. He's the best guy.
Yeah.
I just am just so honored to be here, and I've been following you for 5 years. I just appreciate
thank you.
it. Yes,
thank
yes.
you.
I wish you all the greatest success.
Thank you so much. And yeah, I mean, that is amazing. And that was a beautiful poem. Maybe you need to start writing poems.
Yeah, I've written a lot. There's a few poems in the book.
That you have put in there. Yeah, well, now it's time to get them together and make a book.
Another book?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like to write too. So I'm writing my own, like, verses and poems and things like that.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. Maybe we can get some tips from each other. And,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But yeah, so there you go, guys. Make sure that you follow him to Facebook. Let me see if we have any questions. If I can get this right. Like, maybe change this thing. Okay, there are. Okay. So, Bill McClinton, thank you for watching. And see, Henry's watching, as I told you. Estela Sosa, un beso, amiga. Etena Fabilo, thank you for watching us. She's always everywhere. So thank you for loving KUHS. We love you so much. Fran Bailey, thank you for watching. Mike Martinez. Oh, there he is. There you go. This is my friend. Juanis Esparza. Juanis, un besote. Ya te extraño. Come from Texas. Just move here to Denver. Miss you. She's a high school friend. Yeah, so there's Wild Bill. I said the only so you'll know who I am, just in case you didn't Facebook my name already. Okay, thank you, Bill. Danny, the love doctor, is watching us as well. Thank you so much. Elizabeth Turner, thank you for watching, and she's also part of the One Spirit Organ. So thank you. There's my mom. Hola, hola, mom. Besotes. My friend Johnny. Johnny, kisses too. I'm gonna run out of kisses today. There's my friend Buddy from Wisconsin. 1 hour from Chicago. How you doing? Are you cooking today? He's always cooking or grilling something on Sundays. So that's really, really nice. The Denver area, wonderful idea for a book to help those going through it and those who won't understand what caregivers go through. I lived with my dad for 6 years who had a dementia. Bless you for helping your wife, Paul. And yes, Bill, it is incredible how many people don't know everything that a caretaker goes through,
Yes.
everything that they have to stop doing, their life goes not just on pause, but you age and you don't do your stuff. So it's really hard. So, blessings to all the ones that are doing that. Carlos Orozco, thank you for watching, Carlos. So there you go. If you have any other questions, you can, just contact Paul or just send me a message. Like I said, always, I'll get them to him and send you guys an answer. And thank you so much for doing that. It was just wonderful to hear your story. And first time you made me cry here and on the air, but it was really beautiful. Really, really beautiful having you. And I wish you the best. You're a great person, and I know you're gonna get married.
One of these days.
Yes, I'll be the third one. And you will stay married.
This time for good.
Yes. So, muchas gracias por estarnos acompañando aquí en KUHS de Radio y Televisión o Canciones de Domingo. Nos vemos el domingo que entra. Muchas gracias, Paul, por estar aquí en nuestro programa. Thank you so much for being here with us on KUHS Denver Radio and TV station, and we'll see you guys next Sunday. And I'm going to go ahead and put more music on the air, and I'll see you guys later. Oh, don't forget, Cine en el Parque is going to be Wednesday and Thursday. So, and sorry, last week we got canceled because the weather has been pretty bad. So, if we got rain, like a couple times already, but we'll be there Wednesday and Thursday. Check my Facebook page for more information. Love you guys.
Adios.
Adios. Wait, cute.
Are you okay?
You did great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
That's so beautiful. I was like, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry. And I did.